Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. We're halfway through April.
Uh-huh.
We only got 2 weeks to go before we can...
It's tax day.
It is tax day. It is tax day. We went to the post office yesterday for a completely unrelated reason.
To check the P.O. box?
Which is a completely unrelated reason. And while we were pulling in and we're like, dear God,
There's a lot of people here.
never seen this many people at the post office. And we weren't immediately sure what was happening. We were like, what is going on? Why is everyone here? And then it wasn't until we were leaving that Mal was like, it's tax day tomorrow. And I was like, that's it. That's what it is. It's everyone that waited until the very, very last moment and was like, oh no, but also didn't file electronically. Anyway, I've been there. I've been that person.
Yeah.
Not of my own volition, but I've been that person. So, I get it. Anyway, happy tax day to everyone. Well, sorry, probably not happy tax day, but tax day. Generic tax day. Yeah, and also not everyone. So really just tax day, some folks. It really doesn't have the same ring to it, does it?
No.
Unfortunately not. We're gonna ring. We're gonna ring in tax day with reading some alerts, and then talk about some other things that may or may not be taxes. They won't be. Yeah, Stumpy says, happy U.S. tax day for getting a refund, which is a fair bit of people usually, from my experiences. If you run a business, it's typically the opposite. So tax day for us is like,
Well, that stuff was March.
But yeah, we did that some time ago. March feels like it was 6 years ago, but it was 1 month ago.
It was 1 month ago.
It was 2 weeks ago.
January is also partly taxes. We do some stuff in January.
Yeah. I mean, to an extent, we're doing things quarterly.
Yeah.
So it's really every 3 months, but today is the big day. Dan did his taxes over the weekend, and he sent me a message, and he was like, do you have envelopes? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I gotta come get an envelope. And I was like, all right. And the guy here, I was like, do you have stamps? He's like, oh yeah, I got stamps. And I was like, well, hold on. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I got stamps if you don't have envelopes. Those usually go hand in hand. Anyway, we got a subscription from Anna Isabel. Welcome. It's a new sub. 6 months from Last Tuesday Forever, 30 months from Bavarian Rex, 42 from Elsimi82, 76 from Kiwi Scipio, 79 from Cobalt Custard, 50 from Never Challenge the Chat, 10 months from Guardian Angel 61, 75 from Armored Frog, 43 from Majors 10, 63 from JDO 1997, 78 months from Satsy the Matted, 78. Oh, that's a half. I was like, why is that? It's a half. I know my 12 halves. 64 months from Andrew in the Kitchen, 52 from Shiny Hunter John 151. We had 400 bits from Screaming Salad Radishes. It says, good morning, grandparents. Sending good vibes to all this morning as I consider ordering a coffee. Coffee can be a good start to the day.
I put lavender syrup in my coffee this morning.
Oh, that's something that we will be talking about later.
Okay.
Lavender. But yeah, how is it?
Very good.
Noticeable?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes whenever you get a drink, particularly like a hot beverage like with coffee, and they put something in it, it's not always strong enough to tell. Or to be like some of the flavored creamers or whatever aren't really different from just a generic sweetening of the coffee. So it's nice to know that that's noticeable. Cheesehammer gifted a sub to Death and Taxes. 12 halves is an incredibly ugly phrase in English letters. I love it. 52 months from Know Me Bookworm, 14 months from Secret Fury, 37 months from Somber Noir, and 72 months from Colin DePete. That's a 6. Congrats on 6. So, do I feel awake to you? Because I
am not you. How do you feel?
Well, I feel like I've got a little more energy and vigor this morning, and that's because I got up at 6.
Ah.
I got up at 6. I was up at 6 a.m. At 6 a.m., I was like, oh no. And I laid in bed for 30 minutes trying to fall back asleep, and I couldn't. And I was like, whatever. Got out of bed, exercised, showered, and I feel really good.
Great.
I don't like getting up that early, but there is like a benefit to it.
That's why people do it.
Yeah. Well, they generally do it having had
Sleep.
Uh-huh. Where I have not had enough. So I'll probably have to take a short snooze later. But for now, I'm doing good. Talk about the lavender.
I bought lavender to make a cake. And I decided I was going to make some lavender simple syrup yesterday after my stream. And I opened up the lavender packet. It's a huge pouch of it. And I spilled a bunch on the floor.
Oh.
So I had to clean that up.
I was upstairs working last night.
And you heard me swear.
I heard you swear, and then I was like, "You all right?" But you didn't respond.
I didn't hear you ask that.
And then there wasn't any other information that happened, so I assumed that you weren't dying.
I spilled about a tablespoon of it on the floor.
Oh, so
and they're like the little tiny lavender buds, so they were everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm making a cake tomorrow.
Yeah.
The London fog cake.
Mal has talked about this cake for a long time.
Couple months.
And is now...
Watch it be not very good.
It's a possibility.
Yeah, Vagabond, you can do that. I sent Vagabond a picture of the syrup.
Okay. Yeah, it's a possibility that the cake won't be good, but we didn't have any particular reason to celebrate, so we're just having a cake party tomorrow.
It's my birthday cake.
There you go.
Uh-huh. It's in the queue.
This will be your 3rd birthday party.
I guess so.
That's awesome. What a good year for you. Good year for birthdays. Because I celebrated with you on Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And then 6 days later on Saturday, you had a get-together. Mm-hmm. We went out and did...
we had a great day.
You had a long day.
I had a huge day.
We'll talk a little bit about that, too. And now, tomorrow night, we're going to get folks together to have cake.
Yeah.
Triple birthday madness, baby. Let's take a look at this photo quick.
That's the lavender syrup.
Not really sure what I expected.
It's water, sugar, and lavender.
Huh.
And then after it got to a decent, flavor level, I strained out the lavender. And I put it in a bottle and thought, this could be purple. And it was quite pinkish already, so I put a tiny drop of blue in and thought that would be enough. But then it got blue. So then I put a tiny drop of red in. And it still stayed pretty blue, but it's slightly purple, but now it's very dark.
Mm. But it tastes good.
Yeah.
And it's going into the cake tomorrow.
Nope.
No. Unrelated.
Unrelated?
Just you had lavender and you wanted to do...
A syrup.
Mm-hmm.
It's good in coffee and tea.
Okay.
And
I might try some
drinks.
I might try some in... I could put it in coffee, but I think it'd be better in tea. So, I could give that a shot. I'm awake. 1600 bits of gold lining says, speaking of cakes, how's the raspberry brownies coming, Steven? It's going great. It's going great. It's going just as well as the cookbook. It's on track for release in the future. I've almost written down the ingredient list to buy the ingredients to make the brownies. So we're getting there.
We're almost to strawberry season, and when that hits, I'm gonna make strawberry rhubarb pie.
That'd be fun. I've never had rhubarb anything.
Like, I think next week or the week after, they're saying North Carolina strawberries.
Okay. Yeah, that would be...
Good morning, Noah. You know what today is?
I believe today is Noah's day of birth.
It is Noah's birthday.
Happy birthday, Noah. Hope you fill the day with something enjoyable. Could be cake. Could be bread.
It's actually just tax day.
Coffee.
Two inevitabilities, Noah and taxes. I am looking forward to the cake tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's a cream cheese frosting.
Oh, great.
The cake has tea in it.
So even if the cake sucks...
It should be good.
You can just eat the icing.
It's an Earl Grey tea, and a tea cake is very good, so I'm hoping that it's still good. But it is a cream cheese frosting, and you know I like those.
I do, yeah. Yeah, that's exciting. We'll give it a shot tomorrow. Probably shoot some clips and put it in the extras video.
Take a trip to the Flavor Mountain with Petit Edouard's extra dry spaghetti and champagne granola.
I love the Flavor Mountain. Those bits from Travis. Says rhubarb with Edward. We are still in Petit Edouard.
Still got a few of them.
Take a trip to the Flavor Mountain with Petit Edouard's extra dry spaghetti and champagne granola.
How do you make spaghetti any drier?
You don't use sauce.
Oh, to eat, I see.
There's no sauce. There's no butter. You cook it, but then you...
Is it just baked in the oven?
you cook it normal, but then you get a lot of paper towels and you pat it dry because you're like, oh, we don't want it wet. We want this extra dry. Gross.
Have you ever had fried ravioli?
I don't know. Maybe
it's a common Midwestern thing is to deep fry ravioli.
I feel like I have, but I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, I have. I don't know where or when, but that's something I've tried at least.
St. Louis staple there.
It also feels like a fair food.
Well, you put it in sauce still.
So, fairs do crazy things now.
See,
it used to be that fairs were like it had to be handheld. Not anymore. They'll just give you whatever.
From what I know, it's like a St. Louis thing, like a Missouri thing. Mm-hmm. But they served it at a university at the food hall.
At yours?
Uh-huh. It was a common dish. And I had never seen it before. Yeah, toasted ravioli. That's what they call it.
Toasted ravioli.
Thank you, Slick Duke.
Yeah, I feel like I've had that before, and I don't think I had it in Missouri, as I've not been to Missouri. So I probably got it elsewhere. We get 61 months from Adrian Kell. And here's another Edward.
The most prestigious way to break the ice in your mouth. Petit Edouard sequined quince and asphalt Wellington.
Jesus Christ. 1,000 bits from Travis again. She says, oh, sorry.
Avec Edouard.
Edouard. Break the ice in your mouth. Sequined quince.
Quince.
Quince? What is quince?
It's a fruit.
And asphalt Wellington. Ah.
Ow.
Asphalt Wellington is what happens when you cook it too long. That's asphalt Wellington. Which I guess if you had asphalt Wellington, it would break the ice in your mouth. Gross. Hey, real quick, show of hands. How many people chew the ice?
No.
Like a ice cube. Like you finish a drink, it's got ice cube, like whole ice cubes in it.
That's a quince.
Neat. And then you eat the ice. It's not something I do much anymore, but growing up, it was like part of the drink. Just ate the ice at the end. I think my teeth are more sensitive now. Well, I think. I know beyond a shadow. They are way more sensitive, so it's not really a thing I do now. But younger me ate the ice every time. So, Neat. We got 3 bits of Shy who says, I had a very vivid dream last night, one that I can simply and hilariously describe with the phrase, dat casino money. And I think that says all you need to figure out how it went. You had a casino dream. I hope you won big. I had 2 dreams last night that I remember. I had more, but I had 2 that I remembered very vividly. One was a game dream. Very excited to talk about that. Ubisoft released a new game, and it was called Chupacabra, and you played as the Chupacabra, but it was set up kind of like Goat Simulator. There's just like these people standing around, and you would attack them, and they'd just like kind of fall over. Also, I don't think I know what the Chupacabra is, because in my dream, it was just the Taco Bell Chihuahua. But it was called Chupacabra, and it was just a tiny dog. So I think it's because Chupacabra and Chihuahua like have similar sounds, similar number of letters, and that was what my brain did.
Wow.
Yeah.
I saw a tiny dog on Saturday that was like this big.
That's too small.
It was a tiny dog.
It's a very tiny dog. The other dream I had was more wholesome, and that was I had a dream about high school, but all of the people that I went to high school with were replaced with like modern day friends. And it's so weird because in the dream, I knew the people they were replacing. Like I woke up and realized like, okay, so this person became this person became this person. It was so weird. It was like a substitution thing. And in the dream, I was with my parents, and we had spent the weekend with like a family friend's like younger brother for whatever reason. And I got to school the next week, and I was talking to Tom, and Tom was like, I really want to like come over and spend time with you. And I was like, oh, well, we can do that this weekend. And he was like, yeah, it's going to be great. And that was the dream. I think I probably dreamt of Tom because I just
Talk to him.
Just talked to Tom. I know I saw a few other people mentioning it in chat, but I was a contestant on Tarvold's Test, which is a video game music trivia show. And I won't talk about the results of the show because it just came out yesterday, so I want people to have a chance to watch it. But I had fun. I had a lot of fun. It was nice to be invited on. I was initially asked to do it last year, and it was just not a possibility for me because I was drowning. But I was asked this year, and I was like, yeah, okay, I can do it. And when I was asked about it, I said, I would really love to do it with someone that I've worked with before, just because I think it would make it a more entertaining show. And Tarvold was like, okay, do you have anyone in mind? And I was like, Tom. And Tarvold was like, oh, actually, I was, thinking about like reaching out to Tom anyway. So this is great. So we got Tom on the show. We also did it with another creator who's a musician, which already made me nervous because I was like, cool. Named Gabe, who's very, very nice. Got a chance to meet him, and it was a good episode. It was fun, and yeah. I don't have any other things to mention about that. Speak of the devil. Devil also was a theme in the show. There's Tarvold. Tarvold gifted him 5 subs. Thank you. Summoned him like the devil. Gifting subs to Ladle God, codename Hawkhead, Crunchyface, Bunningman14, and Kalen595. Tarvold, thank you. And everyone, do be sure to check out the video sometime today. Put it on your watch list. Open another tab so you can check it out. It was very, very fun. It was good. It was a good time. I'm not going to tell you anything about the show itself. You should watch it. But I will say, Tom is fast. Tom is fast. And the other thing that was so great is that when I had because I had announced to like Patreon that I was going to be on the show, so I had mentioned it some time back, and the sentiment then and the sentiment after the show came out, before people had even watched it, was like, "Oh, honey, you have the bad memory." And I was like, "I am the internet grandpa." Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, my memory is abhorrent, but I still had fun. Still had a very fun time. I would.
I'm gonna grab my water quick.
Sure. I would definitely do something like that again in the future. It's about the friends we made along the way. The only thing that matters, and this is a brief spoiler, the only thing that matters is that I did get the Earthbound question. I beat.
You're lucky.
I mean, and I only beat Tom by a hair on that, but I have all of that. That's muscle memory. So, I hear it. I know. That's the only thing I know. Someone actually'd me about that Earthbound one. They said the Runaway 5 is actually 6. Is this true? I don't have time to get into that.
Yes, you do.
I mean, yeah, Chaz, sigh. Okay, so it's saying that the Runaway 5 is Runaway 6 is somewhat insane because it's literally called Runaway 5. Chaz, that's the best we got. Short version, it's a house keyboardist. We're gonna go with that. If you watch the Runaway 5 concert in Earthbound,
there are 6 people.
There
on
are
stage.
6 people on stage. So to say that there are 6 people is not like disingenuous. There are 6 sprites. There's 6 characters, but we say the house keyboardist.
But isn't the keyboardist not there on the second show?
I don't know. Chaz says in the cutscenes where they get on the bus, etc., the keyboard player is not there. Also, I don't know how familiar Tarvold is with Chaz. Chaz knows. Chaz is the developer of the Earthbound randomizer and has torn that game apart. So we trust in Chaz when it comes to...
Chaz's word is gospel, yes.
Yeah. In many ways around here. And that's fine. I'm fine to live under those rules. The book of Chaz. Yeah, this is a fun show. I do encourage everyone to check it out. I think I was originally asked to be on the one that Jepsen was on, and at the time I could not do it. But in hindsight, I kind of wish I would have, because I watched that episode and I would have crushed all of it.
It was stuff you knew.
Yeah. It was funny to watch that too, because Jepsen and Rebecca and Jiggy, who did it together, like really, really only know Nintendo stuff. Like first party Nintendo stuff is like their bread and butter. And as soon as it ventured outside of it at all, they were like, I don't know what this is. It was like a Sonic song, and they're like, I've never met that man. Who is that? They hated Final Fantasy. Yeah.
Chaz has the link.
Chaz has got the link for everybody. And like, in fairness, I definitely grew up more with Nintendo. Mm-hmm. I never had a PlayStation 1. I didn't have a different console until I got the PS2. I bought the PS2 because I wanted to play Dragon Ball Z Budokai. And eventually it actually came out on GameCube, but at the time it hadn't. So I bought a PlayStation 2, Dragon Ball Z Budokai, and Final Fantasy X. And that was like my introduction to Sony. I was like, all right, let's do this. Let's get on board with this. And then I became a multi-console household. I think I bought the Xbox like a year later. So, anyway, that's my story of branching out. But I still always play the Nintendo stuff. We got 500 bits from Gamers 00700. 300 bits from Shy, who says, "Don't worry your pretty blue cake, Mal. It's lavender."
The syrup is blue.
Will the cake be blue?
No. The frosting is hopefully going to be lavender colored.
Hopefully.
I'll dye that.
Coffee.
Okay. But if you put too much dye.
Yeah, but it's frosting. It doesn't dye the same. Like, 1 drop of red and blue in the syrup went a long way.
Okay.
But the frosting, one will make it, like, very light. Because the cream cheese is white. So you have the white making it lighter.
I understand. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Good.
I got it. We got 300 bits from Dan the Warrior. Says, Hi, Stephen Amount. Hope you are doing as amazing as you can. So far today, I myself have been playing a new RPG. It's called Child of Light. I'm grinding into a different RPG. Child of Light. Is that the Ubisoft game from like 10 years ago? It sounds familiar. Child of Light. 2014. Oh, almost nailed it. 11 years ago. Ubisoft 11 years ago. I know some things. Not many, but some. I believe I may have actually done a first 20 on that. Because that was back in the heyday of actually doing all that stuff, and I think I actually covered that a little bit. I remember it being good. Get 100 bits from Nomi Bookworm, 16 months from Logan J.P. Sen, 62 months from Back in Red. Cheesehammer gifted a sub to Chihuahua Cabra.
That's a great username.
It really is. A+. 7 months from Fruit Punch Gator. Jacebook gifted a sub to Tarbold's Quest. Very nice, appreciate it. 29 months from Ow, my dude. 41 from Zach Lumberjack. 67 from Lixrin. And 300 bits from Night Owl says, good vibes for surviving my first tax season as an independent contractor.
Yep. Hopefully you were given your 1099s. It makes it easier.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. It's so much easier, not to like say that anyone else has a easier time, easier life, but when you have like an employer who like hands you a W-2, that's simpler.
Yeah.
That's simpler. It's a lot easier. It's very different when you don't have that. So being an independent contractor can be strange. Chryselium says, and wasn't Massey also waiting on a form for a while? Some of the places don't distribute that. They're supposed to. They're supposed to distribute your 1099 by like the end of January?
Yeah.
Legally?
I don't remember the exact date offhand, but we have to make 1099s, so yeah. Yeah. That's how you know you made it. Yeah.
You have to
give
them to someone else. Every year, and I don't touch that because I can't be trusted with numbers. So Mal does them. So Mal's the one that hands Juliet and Dan and Chaz 1099s, and I'm like, okay. I don't know anything about it. I got through the alerts.
Good job.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
You want to talk about what we did on Sunday? Or you want to talk about Saturday? Or both?
I figured we would start with Saturday because it precedes Sunday.
But Saturday was the more fun day.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Stephen says, let's start with Saturday since it precedes. Did you type that after I said it, or did you just happen to type literally the exact same thing that I said? Because I'm like, okay.
A poll has begun. Which day?
Fossix, are you in chat this morning?
You know what? Y'all pick. Y'all pick. We love the democratic process here, so you can choose, and I will read this other alert in the meantime. 300 Bits from Shy, who says Steven's brain is like that SpongeBob episode when all he could remember was fine dining and breathing, except instead of fine dining, it's all cameras. I know some things about cameras. I know some things about tech. I know some things about video games. That's it. The one thing I don't know about video games, what I have...
What is this game?
During Tarvold's quest, Tarvold had mentioned a PS1 game. He was like, do you have that? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea.
It would be up there.
Yeah, I don't think I do. I don't think I do. I don't think I have a
Poll has ended.
ton.
The winner is
Saturday.
Saturday precedes Sunday. Don't you ever let anyone tell you don't learn anything here. Okay, so let's talk about Saturday.
Well, let me see. There's probably a photo or two I can post in mod chat to put up on the screen.
Okay. It was for Mao, it was a very long day. I was still feeling ill. In fact, I am still ill today. Like, I'm still having, like, sinus drainage and stuff, which sucks. But I'm clearly a lot better than I was a few days ago. Fagamon says, get better, please. I'm not contagious anymore. I hung out with people on Saturday for a little bit. So that was good. But on Saturday, there was a cheese festival. There's a pimento festival.
Yeah, there was a local festival.
There's a pimento festival, and almost everyone went to that. Me and Dan didn't, but everyone else went. I don't like pimento cheese.
I don't love it.
I really don't. Like, I can eat it, but it's not an enjoyable experience. It's like,
Let me just see if I have one more photo because I need to zoom
Cheese
in a little
says,
bit.
what? Why did you leave me at home? In fairness, people don't really love it if you come to a festival with a hammer. Also, what Chaz says, pimento is the softest cheese, as far away from hammering as you can get.
All right, this one is. I can post that one too. Okay, there's 5 photos I put in the queue.
Okay.
So yeah, we did that. And that one's really cool for the local festivals because it happens at a really cool spot. There's a really cool park right there.
Okay, yeah.
And they had a bunch of food trucks, and all the food trucks had like a pimento cheese dish, and there was samples of pimento all over the place.
Yeah.
I went to the beignet food truck and got beignets. I know, right?
Yeah. Mr. A's or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But their pimento menu item was a pimento dipping sauce for beignets. And I thought, no. So I just got beignets.
That I mean
and that was my first donut of the day.
I mean no offense to the fans of pimento cheese, but that does sound like a downgrade. It sounds like a way to make a beignet worse. Anyway.
And so we did that.
That was the first thing that happened. Mm-hmm. And then
I went downtown Raleigh. Chaz went, I think Chaz went and did a run while we were down there.
Yeah.
But he came back with donuts. From Krispy Kreme.
You had several donuts.
Yeah.
Chaz...
that was I had 3 donuts, and that was like my breakfast and lunch.
In fairness, I do associate Chaz running with Krispy Kreme
I know.
donuts. I don't think
that's what he came back with.
I don't think that's the association maybe he wants, but like that's what I've been led to believe. On the few times I've seen Chaz run... He brought back a whole
dozen for 4 of us.
That's the appropriate amount.
Yeah, it was financially. I went downtown with...
It's also foodily the correct amount.
Jeff, Brandon, and I were doing an urban sketch, and we drew this building they're tearing down in Raleigh, and it was voted the ugliest building in Raleigh.
Is that why they're tearing it down?
It used to be like the state health something, and it's a brutalist building. and they're tearing it down. And then after that, we went to Jaguar Bolera.
Yeah, which we've shown on the vlog.
We did a date
once.
night there.
We did a date night there. It's like, how do you explain that? Imagine the concept of a Dave & Buster's or Chuck E. Cheese or whatever, but it's not electronic
Games.
machines. Yeah.
So, Jaguar Bolera looks like a Wes Anderson film. It's mauve and light sage green. Everything in there.
It is.
And you can check out board games, because we played a little bit of Exploding Kittens.
Yeah, so it's free to check out board games.
They
have darts. Foosball?
They have foosball tables. Darts. They have a karaoke room.
Yeah, karaoke costs money.
They have bags.
What?
Bags.
Cornhole.
And then
Don't bring that Wisconsin nonsense here.
They have a lot of things on the walls. Like, they had a Connect 4, like, big Connect 4 on the walls. And then they had,
Most everything is free.
Not a crossword. Where do you put the letters?
Scrabble.
They had a giant Scrabble.
Most everything there is free, with the exception of
Duckpin.
with the exception of duckpin bowling and karaoke, I think.
Yes.
I think everything else in there is free, which is nice. But the way that they get you is that the other big feature of Jaguar Bolera is they
Food
have
and drinks.
Well, they have food, but they also have like 100 taps.
Yeah.
And the way they do it is a very smart way to get you to not realize how much money you're spending. Where if you want to drink, you get a RFID wristband, and then you have your drink, and you go up and you tap the thing, and you pour yourself your drink. So it keeps track of how many ounces you put in, and they're all different price. So however many ounces you put in, it puts that on your tab for your wristband, and then at the end you do your wristband, and
You
it's
close
like,
out.
oh, okay, so you owe $70.
North Carolina law does dictate some things for alcohol, because North Carolina is,
Etrod says, like an alcoholic froyo place. That is a really apt description. It's a very apt description. Anyway, you said there's laws in place?
North Carolina has very strict liquor laws. And, some of the taps are like cocktails. Like, there was a tequila, there was a margarita, there was some other stuff. But beer and wine is not quite as regulated. So if you were going to get something with a hard liquor in it, they had to have someone on staff standing there to do it for you. You still had to scan, but they had to actually do, like, this part.
Interesting.
And those drinks were like, single price. Like, you got X many ounces.
I see.
Because that's so regulated. But beer and wine, no. You could pour as much as you wanted. The food is pretty good there.
It actually is.
I got the lambira, not tacos, the ones that are rolled like a cigarette or a cigar. Taquito. Those were very good.
Give me that Mexican cigarette. What's that called? Taquito. Yeah, I had some tacos. And previously, when we had been there, I had a quesadilla. It's all very good food, actually.
It is.
Definitely better than you would expect a place like that food to be, which is good. So, yeah, the money is definitely made from the wristbands. And as someone who doesn't drink alcohol, it just means that it's a fine place for me to be.
But
I just got the
we
water.
went because I wanted to play duckpin bowling for my birthday.
That's what Matt wanted to do.
So we played duckpin bowling, which is the lanes are shorter than regular bowling.
Yeah.
And the pins are squat.
You don't get to put your fingers in any holes.
Yeah, and the balls are like slightly bigger than softball, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely
And
bigger than softball.
I don't know. Like what was the weight of that?
3 pounds?
3 pounds. Yeah, I could hold it with one hand, but my hands are so small to hold it.
Yeah. It was fun. I've never played duckpin bowling before. It is like bowling, but everything's scaled down. The pins are
on strings.
Yeah, I hated that. It also like broke several times while we were there in an hour, and then the guy had to come fix it.
Duckpin's a little bit different than candlestick for New Englanders.
The duck pins are shorter, They're stout, but they're really probably not any more girthy than a normal bowling pin. So it's probably about the same. They're just shorter. But the balls are different because you just grasp them.
Each frame you get 3 balls instead of 2.
Yeah, that's the other thing. But it's still 10. It's still 10 frames.
It's still 10 frames. The 10th frame, you could get 3 strikes.
Yeah.
On the other frames, if you got 10 pins in 2, it was still a spare, and the math would do that math it does. But if you got 10 and 3, it doesn't do that math.
Yeah.
So.
I could annihilate those balls.
Yeah.
Stephen George 2025. Like, I just...
Whipped them.
I was really, really chucking them. I think I was throwing them harder than anyone else. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was actually helping me, but it was really, really fun to do that.
Yeah.
So that was nice. It was a fun experience. It's just, in my opinion, it's too expensive for what it is. Because at that point, I'd rather just go like normal bowling. And there are bougie bowling places now because we live in hell. Where it's just bowling has become more expensive than it like should be, but there's still normal like family bowling places where it's not super expensive.
Well, I looked up one of the family bowling places and it was slightly cheaper, but not that much cheaper.
Annihilate the balls, that's what I'll do. I will throw it through and through. Duck pin bowling is gonna die. Everyone around me's asking why. I throw it hard. I do not hold back. Every time I see them, I attack. I grab the ball, and then and the people next to me go, ugh. It did happen at least 2 times. There was a family that were playing to the left of us, and 2 visible times, one of the people was like... And I was fine with that. Rare Morning Song. 5,000 bits from Travis, who says, annihilate the ball, Stephen.
You want to show the photos?
I did what I needed to do. I did pretty good. I didn't win.
No, Brandon won.
Brandon had the highest score, and then after that was Dan.
Yeah.
And then I was like right behind Dan. So I didn't do too bad.
That's the building I drew.
That is an ugly building.
It is.
It reminds me of something, or I can't place it. Like a multi-pin connector on a GPU or something.
It's the Bath building in Raleigh.
Look at that. You drew it.
Uh-huh.
A waffle. It does look like a waffle.
Jeff also drew that building, and Brandon drew the bricks. These bricks here.
It's my strong exercises.
Do you see the green and the mauve?
It's a choice.
It is a choice.
It's a choice. It's a great shirt that Dan has too.
Yeah.
So this is at Jaguar Bolero. It's Bolero, right? Bolero.
I think it ends in an A.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Oh. That's Duckpin. Oh, that's me!
Yeah, that's you.
That's what I look like from the back. People don't get to see that very often.
And then we have a group photo.
Oh, wow. Someone edited in my, the haunting corpse of me.
I was like, what is that? We took that. You left early.
I look like that character from PT. Like, yeah, I wasn't there for the photo. I was still sick that day. I didn't feel super great. And I didn't go to the Pimento Cheese Festival, which is an easy skip because I don't like pimento cheese. Uh-huh. But I told Matt, I was like, I'm going to try and be there for the Jaguar Bolero stuff. So I showed up, and I wasn't there forever. I was there, I think I was there for 2 hours, and then I left. And then after I left is when they took the group photo. But it seems that someone helpfully edited the scariest photo of me possible into there.
Well, Jaguar's at Ironworks Raleigh, and there's like stuff, like shops and stuff, so we walked around that to see it.
Okay, yeah.
That's where that was.
Yeah. It's neat. It's neat. I don't mind going there and just doing the other stuff, the free stuff. But I do want to, at some point, go, like, normal bowling.
Yeah, I do too.
Because I haven't been in, like, a few years, and it's fun. I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but I think bowling's a lot of fun. I went a lot whenever I went a lot when I was younger, with my cousin Nico. We had 20 months from Just Like Dark, 100 bits from Fire Goddess, 29 months from Amaya A, 24 months from Captain Joe. That's a 2. 300 bits from Will, who says, did you know they now serve alcohol at Chuck E. Cheese? Now they say 2 per person, but there are ways around it. That reads like... that reads very much like Will is like, listen, I've had 10 drinks at the Chuck E. Cheese, and I will teach you how. This is how you can do it. Yeah, I haven't been to a Chuck E. Cheese in a long time. But also, why would I go to a Chuck E. Cheese at this point?
Yeah.
You have to, like, know a child. You can.
Are there any in the Triangle?
Children?
Chuck E. Cheese's.
No, it's like, there's children in Raleigh now. I've seen children
I know there's
before.
a Dave & Buster's.
Yes, there's
And
a
I
Dave
just
&
got
Buster's.
an ad for Party Shack.
Do you know Brandon? Yeah, you have to have a reason to go into a Chuck E. Cheese. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any purpose to play really, I presume, bad, mediocre games and have bad, mediocre pizza.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, the Chuck E. Cheese had, like, actual arcade games in it. Like, you could play, like, Street Fighter and Turtles in Time and stuff in Chuck E. Cheese. And these days, I haven't been to Chuck E. Cheese, but I've been into Dave & Buster's, and it's just sad. It's just like Fruit Ninja on, like, a 50-inch TV.
We went to Frankie's in Raleigh, and it was that way.
Yeah. And, like, that can be fun for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's...
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't need to be given a ticket to feel like I did a thing. Like, I'm okay with just being entertained by a machine, and that be... That's it.
No,
like,
it
I
says
paid 50
Boxcar
cents.
is better.
Boxcar is better.
Yeah.
Boxcar is better because I can put a quarter in a machine and play Pac-Man.
They're opening another barcade in Raleigh. I think it's going to be on Glenwood.
Night Owl says, round 1 is always my choice for that type of entertainment. Round 1 is fantastic, and we do not have one.
No.
There's one in
Greensboro?
Asheville?
Greensboro.
Greensboro.
Winston-Salem?
Greensboro.
Yeah, it's not Asheville.
It's not here. So you don't want a machine that deposits physical Chaz point tickets at the end of every stream, depending on how well you did? I do want that once, because I want to know how well I did, based on Chaz's merits.
Chaz could just, like, hold up numbers, like, you got a 10, gold medal. Yeah.
300 bits from Will says, you don't need a child to attend Chuck E. Cheese. You can just go in. Yeah, but it's weird, I think. There are other places that you can eat. If you're going into Chuck E. Cheese and you're just like a single dude who's like 32, everyone else at the Chuck E. Cheese can be like, why are you here? What?
Coffee.
Maybe is an expiation if there are no... I think, is that... Maybe explanation. Maybe is an explanation if there are no kids. There should be kids. In an ideal situation. Otherwise, just go to Dave & Buster's. I haven't had Chuck E. Cheese pizza, but I presume it's not good.
I presume it's not good, too.
You go there to get drunk, clearly. Okay, Vagabond doesn't have a terrible idea. I do think it would be very funny. I don't know how much it would cost. It'd be very funny to rent out a Chuck E. Cheese and take a group of adults to the Chuck E. Cheese. That would be funny. Might not be that entertaining, depending on... Have the animatronics play Steely Dan songs. Yes. I'm for this. These are all great ideas. And yeah, it's true. It can't be worse than Golden Corral. Golden Crow would be better with animatronics, though. Sorry, were you going to say something?
No.
Anyway, so you did that.
Uh-huh.
And then what happened after?
We went to Chaz and Jeff's and hung out there.
Yeah.
And had lemon bars and ice cream.
Nice.
There's also pound cake, I think.
I spent a lot of Saturdays sleeping and trying to rest. I continued playing some Baldur's Gate because I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3, and that's been fun. And then that was it. That was my entire Saturday.
And Sunday.
Sunday. We've talked about Saturday, and we haven't even gotten to Sunday. Advance Wars is not done. I've been on the same mission for a while. What was Sunday?
Sunday was so exciting. You can see why I wanted to start with it. We went through our filing cabinet.
But you did spend it with me.
That is true.
So it was a great day. We did go through the filing cabinet. We haven't went through the filing cabinet since we lived in South Carolina.
No. We did it right before we moved into this house.
Oh. I thought the last time we did it was when we were leaving South Carolina.
Right before we moved into this house.
Oh. Okay, so 2 years ago.
Yes.
Neat.
So what we do, our system is, the filing cabinet is very organized. I'm very proud of it.
You aren't going to praise yourself enough for this, so I'm going to give you a little additional boost here. No one has a filing cabinet like this. No one has... It's actually a shame I can't show how it's... because it's all of our, like, private information. But, like, it's...
There's an index.
It's immaculately organized.
It's color-coded.
There's, like, 30 categories for things. Mm-hmm. It is wildly sorted, because there's categories for they get the files, and then they have the folders for individual things inside it, and then there's papers for all this.
Uh-huh.
And we have a 2-drawer one,
mm-hmm.
and so the top is all the personal stuff, and the bottom is all the business stuff, and Mal has it, like, organized. Mm-hmm. It's wild.
So, for example, in the business one, there's a folder for all of our NECs.
Yeah.
And then inside of that folder, there's folders for each individual person. And then there's like a section for their 1099s and then the other paperwork we have with them.
Yeah.
And then the index will tell you, so you can pull out the index and be like, I am looking for all of the paperwork we've ever gotten from the IRS that is federal. And then you can say, oh, well, that's 2.3.4. So you can count back 2 folders or 2 groups of folders and then count back 3 inside there to find that.
It's wild, actually. It's the sort of thing that Mal does it and she's like, I did a good job. And I look at it and I'm like, you don't understand. 99% of people do not have this and will never do this. This is a high level of organization. But it's cool that it exists. You did a really great job.
Thank you. So, Stephen, we went through the box.
Part of it's even color-coded.
Yeah. The personal stuff is totally color-coded, and the business stuff is kind of color-coded, depending on what I had available.
Yeah.
But, we went through our 2 years. I keep a box on top that we put everything that needs filed in.
Coffee.
And somewhere along the line, someone got confused and thought that was the shred box. And they didn't shred anything, but they put stuff in there that needed shredded. So we went through that box, and then I filed everything, and you shredded everything. So all day you just shred.
Yeah, Sunday I spent 8 hours just moving sheets of paper from the table to the shredder. While Mal sat on the floor with 30 piles and did all of that. So it was a fun day.
Yeah.
spending
Uh-huh.
together.
And then we realized we didn't have a physical copy of our 2022 taxes, and then we had to go, like, print them.
Yes. But it was neat. We also went through some old stuff.
Well, there's stuff we no longer need in the filing cabinet.
Yeah.
Like an old car that we got rid of in 2012.
Yeah.
I was like, I probably don't need this paperwork anymore.
People that have been watching for a long, long, long time, even they will have trouble remembering the Kia. Although Radio Dread said it before I said it, so Radio Dread remembers the Kia. Mal had a Kia, and the people that remember probably remember it because Mal's car did not have air conditioning, and she moved to South Carolina.
Yeah.
We got rid of that.
Brandon says, what if you did this once a month? That would just be like 2 pieces of paper, Brandon. Once a year is probably better.
Once a year.
Like right after
good.
tax time, print out the taxes, just
We
refile everything.
We got rid of a lot of stuff to the point that even if we did this in 2 years, it wouldn't be as bad as it was.
Yeah.
Because of how much stuff we got rid of. There was
Yeah.
just a lot of stuff we didn't need anymore.
Yeah.
We also found some stuff that we haven't seen in a long time. Like, we found the original adoption papers for Sagan and Kepler.
Yeah.
We kept those.
The
But,
ones
like,
with their photos on it that they
The
gave us
only-
at adoption.
The only photos that exist of Sagan and Kepler before we had them.
Yes.
They are babby.
They are tiny.
Very, very tiny kitties. So we found those. But then we also found, like immunization records
Yeah.
for them, like every vaccine or whatever that they had, and it's like, okay, so we don't need those. Those aren't going to be of any help to us.
Yeah.
We had their entire
Medical histories.
medical histories, because when we moved from South Carolina to North Carolina, we had to get a new vet. We went to our old vet and was like, hey, can you give us all of Kepler's medical records so we can give them to the new vet? And they did. And they also gave us Sagan's,
Yeah.
which was probably because they were on the same account. But it was like, all right. So yesterday, 2 days ago, I got to read through all of that. And that was interesting. It wasn't anything that I didn't, know, because obviously
You were at those vet
I
appointments.
was at all those vet appointments, and all of those things are documented on the vlog, so it's not, I didn't need any of that paperwork, so I got rid of it. But it was interesting to kind of relive that and go through it and remember some of the stuff that they had went through. Like one time, Sagan had a polyp that appeared under his tongue,
Yeah.
and we just managed to see it. And I got a photo of it, and then we took him into the vet, and the vet was like, how on earth did you even see this? And we're like, I don't know. So they removed the polyp to check it, and it was fine. But that was scary at the time, because I don't think he had had anesthesia before. So it was the first time he'd had that. Otherwise, it was nice to read some of the vet notes, because they really
Put in
loved
personality notes. Yeah.
Yeah, they had written in several different places for both cats that they were good cats. And I was like, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. They weren't ever super thrilled to be there.
No.
But they were friendly cats. So
But yeah, we didn't need to keep any of their rabies certification stuff or any of that, so we got rid of all that.
yeah. So we've pared down a lot of our paperwork.
Yeah.
Which is good. Someday we'll be able to get rid of tax returns, maybe. It's like a few streams ago that we had accountant fight about how many years to hold on to it, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm just gonna hold on to all of them until I die.
It is kind of neat to look back and be like, this is what we paid in taxes in 2011.
Yeah. And also, to some degree, to see, the revenue sources. Because for a while, I worked for Disney. Technically.
When you went to visit your parents last, you brought back a box of my teaching stuff.
Yeah.
It was just some of my stuff that was at your parents' house, and I had gone through that, and I found paperwork from college for me. And one of the things I found Sunday was a tuition bill for like a spring semester, and just looking at the cost of tuition at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a quick explanation for those that don't know what I was talking about with the Disney thing. Quick. A long time ago, although still in present day, there were these things on YouTube called MCNs, multi-channel networks. Think Machinima. One of them was Maker Studios, and I was a part of Maker Studios for many, many years. It was the same studio that had PewDiePie at the time that PewDiePie was really big. Maybe he's still big, I don't know. Anyway, Maker Studios got bought out by Disney. So there was a period of time where I was technically a Disney employee, and I got checks that had, like, the Disney logo and stuff on them, and that was kind of wild. Yeah.
You will have to... That's because my alarm went off.
Shai says, I thought it was Polaris. Okay, we're gonna get...
It changed the name.
We're gonna get super technical here. Maker was the umbrella company. They had a subsidiary that was part of it called the Game Station. The Game Station was like the video game stuff for Maker. Game Station changed their name to Polaris, so they became Polaris. And then at some point, all of it got bought by Disney, and the Polaris stuff became Disney Game Time. Something like that. The other weird thing was that as part of my contract, I had like some royalty stuff, and it wasn't much, but there was a period of time where like I would get checks for very small amounts of money. So I was getting Disney checks. Like after I had left Maker, I would get a Disney check like every like 3 months for like $2. And I was like, yes! Awesome! Thank you, Mickey! So, that was neat. I'm sure that I don't remember what the contract is, but I'm sure that the residuals at this point have ended.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was never very much. When I was working for them, it was different. But after I left, the amount that I made was very, very small. It was stuff that wasn't for my own channel. It was like, I voiced a few things for Maker. I did like a lore video for Elder Scrolls Online, I think. And I think I did another lore video at some point. I don't know. They did some game shows. I was on some of the game shows. This was a million years ago. And Zuni says, did you get free tickets to the park? Yes. And I know we have to wrap up. That was the best part.
That was the best part.
The best part was that at a point that we had already decided we were leaving Maker, we'd already made that decision. It was around the time of E3, right?
It was. That's why we were there.
Everyone was in town for E3, and they wanted to get their talent together and take them through Disney
They took us
Park.
on a tour of the building, too, that Maker was run out of.
So me and Mao and Josh were there, because Josh was also part of Maker. And they had just pretty recently formed this alliance with Disney, and they wanted to show off the power of being with Disney. And they took us with
a bunch of other people.
They took us with a bunch of other people, a bunch of Vine stars, which dates when this was, through this VIP tour of the park. The tour itself was amazing.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Like, they paid for all of the food.
Yeah, the plaid tour.
They paid for all the food. We went through the exits of every ride, and we rode like every single ride in Disney in one day. So it was a very cool experience.
Yeah,
but
it was.
like the entire time that I'm there, I'm just thinking, I am leaving this company. Like, it is happening. It's a thing that I'm doing. But that was very cool.
It was very cool.
That was actually one of the most fun experiences I think I've ever had that day. It was a very cool experience. So yeah, that was the trip where me and Josh went down the log flume. Yeah. So I'll never do that again, I'm sure. I just don't have a desire to go back to a Disney park because now it sounds bad.
It does sound
It
bad.
sounds like a rigmarole.
You have to like
10.
learn the best way to do things there now, and it's changed.
I don't know, man. I want to go to a theme park and like go to a line and go on a ride, as opposed to get into a theme park and use a phone app to sign up for a time slot. I'm like, no. I'd rather go to a smaller theme park. And also $160 to go to a theme park is a lot.
A friend of mine just went to Epcot, and they just kind of like got drinks and hung out. I think you can still do that at Epcot at least.
Yeah. Like, if you're a Disney person,
Yeah.
I can see it being a huge deal because, like, that's where the Disney is. But for me, I'm like, I've never cared about any of the Disney stuff, so it's easy for me to just, like, take that appeal and just move it to a different place. But also, when I was younger, my favorite park to go to was Universal. Because I don't like rides, and Universal had all of, like, the mild rides. So Universal was, like, my park. Went there, could ride everything, except the Mummy. I rode that once, that was a mistake. But everything else, the Men in Black ride, Jaws, before they put Jaws down.
Now it's all coasters.
Well, we can't go back. They got rid of Men in Black?
Yeah.
Man,
I think they got rid of basically everything.
they got rid of Back to the Future? They turned Back to the Future into,
Simpsons?
Simpsons. I've been back since it was Simpsons. They kept Men in Black. Good. Do they still have the Indiana Jones show? Probably not.
I don't know.
All this stuff, and like Terminator, all of this stuff, when I was there to see it, those movies were already like 20 or 30 years old. Now it's like 100 years old. Indiana Jones is Disney? I believe you.
Multiple people said that, so.
What did I see at Universal? Who's that guy? Who's that guy that, like, he was on all of the talk shows at night and he brought, like, a parrot? He was like the animal guy. Someone will know his name. I think he had a show. Jack Hanna. Eric Andre? No, although my interest is piqued into why you would have said that. Yeah, Jack Hanna. I feel like Jack Hanna had a thing there, and I don't even know if it was him there. It was just like the Jack Hanna of Animal Experience, and Jack Hanna wasn't actually there. That was Busch Gardens. I don't know anything. All right, we had 300 bits of Shia says the way Stephen is describing this filing cabinet, I keep imagining it as the filing cabinet for Bruce Almighty that just stretches out for a mile. It's not super deep.
It's a normal filing cabinet.
It's a normal filing cabinet. A fairly normal filing cabinet.
It's just organized.
It sure is. It really is. And Foss Extreme gifted a sub to 84 Hashi. I don't know how to explain that. So I won't.
At some point, there'll be a vlog.
There's a vlog coming. There's a vlog coming. 69 months from Savannah, nice. And with that, let's wrap up. It's Tuesday, so there's no other streams today.
Nope. I finished Beyond Good and Evil last night.
Yes. Yeah. First thing is Tarvold's Quest. If you haven't seen Tarvold's Quest, go watch it. It's well worth your time. It's very fun. So check that out. Mal finished Beyond Good and Evil last night, so I'll have the finale VOD up on the VOD channel soon. We did Split Fiction last Friday, and I hadn't gotten that VOD out, but that'll be out soon as well. I got these things uploaded, I just have to release them. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern, I'm very, very excited because I'm going to be playing the Shadow of the Colossus remake. Very, very pumped about this because I love Shadow of the Colossus and I haven't played the remake. So, I finished Eco last week, which was fun. It was definitely fun. The VODs for that are all out, so you can watch that, but I'm going to be trying this out tomorrow. I don't know how long it's going to take. My suspicion is 3 to 4 weeks. And then we'll see what happens. Thursday breakfast stream 9 a.m. Friday 11 a.m. Mal's working on her painting.
Yep. I did all the geometry last week, and I'll start blocking it in this week.
So that's coming along. And then Friday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, we continue...
Split Fiction.
Split Fiction. We're more than halfway. So, we'll see. Vagabond says, I was expecting 3 streams. I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
I thought Eco was going to be 4, and it was 3. So, Shadow of the Colossus. The one thing is, I have played this before. But it's been like 10 years, so... Oh, yeah. I also released a Japan vlog. Thank you for the reminder. There is a new Japan vlog out, March 19th, 2024. So check that out. And I am actively working on the next one. I'm working as hard and as fast as I can because I really need this albatross to go away. I have so many things that I need to work on and want to work on, like new projects, and I really can't until those are done, so I'm working hard on them. We had 300 Bits from Aldo, who says, speaking of Universal, did you know there's a Universal Studios game for GameCube? You know, in case there's some kind of GameCube event coming up. I do know. It was actually a very, very early release. I don't know if it was a launch title, but it was like really, really early, like in the first few months, and I rented it from Blockbuster, so I've played it. And of course I have it.
I was trying to see if it was right there.
All right. That's it. Thanks everyone for being here. Have yourselves a lovely Tuesday. Check out Tarvold's Test.
Quest.
I also was confused by that.
Oh.
The username is Tarvold's Quest.
Ah.
Tarvold's Quest runs a show called Tarvold's Test, which made me so confused. I only just learned this and figured this out yesterday. Anyway, yeah, I know, it's very confusing. So that's out. Check that out. Watch the new Japan vlog. I will see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, for Shadow of the Colossus remake. See you then.